Hi everyone, today let's talk about Netflix earnings. Then we'll go through the charts, and then we'll go through some positions that I got on my accounts right now. If you like trading stocks and options and making money, definitely like and subscribe. And make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future content. These markets have been crazy recently, and you wouldn't want to miss out on any of those gains. Welcome to the Portfolio Bulletin. Let's get started. So once again, Netflix, just like Bank of America yesterday, crushed expectations and added 2.41 million subscribers. They beat expectations on the top and bottom line, as well as subscribers, which was much higher than the 1 million subscribers they planned to add this quarter. They say the stock jumped more than 14% after the bell, with an earnings per share of $3.10 versus $2.13, with revenues over $7.9 billion versus the $7.837 billion that was expected. They're expected to add just over 1 million subscribers, and they more than doubled that. Again, staying in line with what I thought was going to happen this earnings season. Earnings are not falling quite yet, and forward projections are not falling quite as fast as people might have thought. So this earnings season seems like it will be a nice little reversal point for the markets overall. They also forecasted that they would add 4.5 million subscribers during the first fiscal quarter, and it expects to revenue another $7.8 billion, which is down slightly due to currency pressures overseas. They feel very optimistic about how their business is going to go forward, and their new advertising business that they most recently added. It's basically the cheapest version of their product. It's an ad-supported business, and it only supports one user. But again, it is that cheapest line of the product, and they're also touting some of their top shows here in the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, Stranger Things, The Gray Man, and Purple Hearts. Moving over here to the S&Ps, you can see we gapped up big time, came down, retested the close of the day yesterday, and bounced off of that level and rallied into the close. So this is still very bullish. The structure is very stable. Going to start drawing trend lines on here. It looks like we have a little bit of an upward trend starting, but strong close. So a little bit of weakness in the middle of the day, but strong close, and it looks like we're going higher tomorrow. Moving over to the NASDAQ, you can see we got into that overbought territory here on the RSI, which you could argue triggered some of that weakness. We have resistance here at 277. We fell into the midday below the after hours high, but we did not break that end of day high or the mid range here. Tested that range, and then we got that big bump from Netflix after hours. We'll take a look at that chart here in a few. But again, similar story, big close to the day, and I expect a break of this level. If we do get that break, I don't think we're going to stop before we hit that 290 level here on the NASDAQ. Moving over to the Russell, again, similar story, retested that resistance, still a much more bullish structure, higher lows the whole way through. We didn't even test that mid-range here the way we did on the NASDAQ, retested the high of day right at that 173.30 level. And then we closed after hours, still going, but a little bit above 175. So strong close, and it looks like we can get a break of this level. Hopefully all of these indices break higher going into Wednesday. Moving over to Netflix here, you can see we closed at 240, and we've been kind of in this really shallow range for a while. Pretty down on the day, but after hours, you can see we popped up to 274, so well above the highs. And this definitely looks like a nice uptrend starting to develop after we came down from almost $700 per share down to all the way around $160 per share. But right now, looks good. Let's move over to the 1 hour chart so we can see that big green candle right after hours. Still did have a big wick to the lows, down to 227. Probably just in the volatility here, but you can see 274 all the way from that 240 range. So big move up, and this is going to drive markets higher tomorrow, in my opinion. Moving on to CrowdStrike, back on the list for this video, you can see we had those big 2 gap up days, kind of closed in the middle of the range. We got those EMAs down here still at 154 or so, but still looking strong. Looks like we got some upside to potential up to maybe 164.50 from where we are now, so maybe dollars potential to the upside. This little breakdown that we had here ended up being a nice little bottom, 2 big green up days, and again, seems like this is continuing to trend higher. Moving over to Lululemon. This chart does not look as good as some of the others. We did have that big gap up like we saw on all of the other charts, but we did come down and almost test the lows of the previous day, so all the way down at 294. In the pre-market, we hit almost 310, came back down, retested 294 or so, then had a nice little rally into the end of the day. It seems like we almost have this little bull forming here on all of the EMAs. We've gotten above most of them, and we should expect higher prices, in my opinion. I think we'll break through this shorter term level of resistance and start to move towards retesting the 325 level. That's pretty much where I expect this rally to end, at least here in the short term. Moving over to trade desk, you can see two big gaps up. Basically went sideways after that second gap up, so showing quite a lot of strength, a lot of buying price action. And then after hours, you can see we popped up another dollar along with that Netflix earnings report. We can get above that longer term resistance level. I do think we can see a continuation of this longer term uptrend that we got going on. This is one of the ones I was pretty happy about on the previous two videos. And I do expect this to continue higher. You can see a nice little cup here forming. I do expect this to continue higher. Lastly, here we have TLT. Here you can see bonds did dip into the midday, but we did get that full reversal, which was really good. So it does make a little bit of sense why stocks were falling in the midday. They were a little bit overbought in the short term. And as bonds are falling, of course, interest rates are starting to climb, which is bad for growth. But we quickly did find some buyers and reversed some of that price action. Looks like it's down a little bit after hours here, but as long as we can go sideways in bonds and we see interest rates start to temper, that should be good for stocks. And we should see at least a little bit of a relief rally, which I think is what we're getting right now and going at least for the rest of the week. Finishing up here with the VIX, as we always do, you can see this big double top that formed. The 345.50 did hold, and we broke below that resistance line that we had. The next level of support is down here at $27. So if we can get this nice solid move down, that should deliver a nice little rally in stocks, which is what I'm positioned for going forward, at least for the next week or two. Moving over to my accounts, you can see nice little green day, up almost $600 between my two accounts. Not as strong as I would have liked to see on a day like today. A little bit less than 1% across the entire portfolio. But I guess that's fair. The NASDAQ was up a little bit less than 1%. IWM a little bit more than 1%. I did take positions in LULU and Trade Desk here. Trade Desk was up more than 1%, and then LULU basically flat on the day. So not too bad. Looking at IWM here, I was a little bit overzealous rolling up these puts to 175. Should have closed those put positions, taken some profits, and then waited for the stock to come down a little bit more and gotten a better price. Hopefully we can hold. It looks like it's up a little bit after hours, as I mentioned. And as long as we close above that 175 tomorrow, I'll be in good shape. But I should be a little bit more cautious here with IWM. Looking at LULU here, you can see plus $50 on the day. I sold the 185 puts for $2. So I was patient here, waited for the stock to come down. Then I sold those puts at a pretty good time to get a buy price down at 285. So that was one of my better trades on the day. Next up here, I have the Qs. Still good profits on the stock. I sold some puts here today, and I actually closed these on one of the rallies and then resold them for quite a bit. So you can see I have $165 profit, but only $75 of open profit right now. So this was a day trade a couple times at the 266 puts. Nice little profit on some day trades there. I did roll up my other puts that I had open to 270 and 271. I was a little concerned we were getting down here, almost touching 271. But now with the rally that we're seeing after hours, shouldn't be any issues with these closing out of the money, collecting the full profit on those. And I also rolled up these calls and out in time here. So rolled up the 270 calls for $7.70. I did have a little bit of profit on these calls, but I don't think I'm going to have any profits going into tomorrow with the big pop in after hours pricing. And then lastly here, Trade Desk. Only a $4 profit here. Small little position at 68 cents for the 53 puts. Again, I got a pretty good entry here, but I do expect Trade Desk to close higher than that on Friday. Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video. And make sure you comment down below any charts that you want me to go over, or any things that I should be trading, or any stocks that you're making money on. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm trying to do these as much as possible. I don't know if I can keep up this schedule, but right now it's looking pretty good. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.